Okay, I think we're good. Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys had a good start of the day. Welcome to the Dream Series. This is the fifth installment of our leadership series. Our lineup boasts 24 engaging workshops, two epic in-person events, spotlighting 11 leaderships, workshops for entrepreneurship, and five research sessions dedicated to fostering business development. Today, we're thrilled to kick off another session of our leadership series with Nicole Perryman and Clement over here with us, a special series designed to bring awareness to the great work Beck is doing nationwide. So before diving in, let's go over our land acknowledgement. So before we begin today's session, let's take a moment to acknowledge the land on which we gather. We recognize and respect the traditional owners and custodians of this land, traditional territory, and of the Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Mississauga, and express our gratitude for your enduring care and connection to this territory. We pay our respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. And for our ancestral acknowledgement, in addition to acknowledging the land, we honor the ancestors who have lived on and cared for this land over generations. We acknowledge a rich tapestry of stories, wisdom, and traditions passed down through ancestral lines. Let us carry forward the lessons and legacies of those who came before us as we engage in today's session. So, a little about Beck. Um, we have a short explainer video about some of the initiatives we have. I'll pull up for you guys.
Step into the transformative Black Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub BEC, a pivotal federal Black entrepreneurship program component. In partnership with Carleton University's Sprott School of Business and the Dream Legacy Foundation, BEC endeavors to revolutionize our comprehension of Black entrepreneurship in Canada. Beyond a mere hub, BEC encompasses 6 regional research hubs, generating vital data to empower Black founders nationwide. Discover the stories of Black entrepreneurs in the Dream Legacy Foundation, spearheading BEC initiatives nationwide. We unite a community of entrepreneurs, nonprofits, schools, and researchers. As the central hub, Dream connects individuals and supports Black entrepreneurs in Canada. Join our live Zoom sessions on Thursdays at 2 p.m. EST to acquire new skills and be part of the exciting journey. What else does the Black Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub offer? Delving into the role of a database for Black entrepreneurs in Canada, BEC provides a potent networking tool linking entrepreneurs with like-minded individuals, partners, mentors, and advisors. Navigate the Black entrepreneurship ecosystem with BEC's map. Engage in surveys representing Black voices accurately, contributing to a nuanced understanding of diversity in entrepreneurial landscapes. Amplify your voice by completing the survey and be a vital force in shaping the narrative of Black businesses' success in Canada. Join us in building a thriving future for Black entrepreneurship. Let's join forces to shape the future of Black entrepreneurship in Canada, amplifying our stories, experiences, and collective impact for a thriving and successful community. For more resources that support Black entrepreneurs, click on this link.
Okay. So, in collaboration with Carleton University's Sprott School of Business and Dream Legacy Foundation, the Black Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub is here to empower Black founders nationwide. BEC aims to unite a community of entrepreneurs, nonprofits, and researchers as a central hub that connects individuals and supports Black entrepreneurs. And here are the main initiatives. I'll be posting the links in the chat, so look out for them. One is teaching Black entrepreneurs and community organizers important research fundamentals to examine the supports needed for Black businesses to flourish. Building an ecosystem mapping tool visual to small businesses visualize and access the resources, partnerships, and mentorship they need to grow and succeed. And third, gathering insights from Black entrepreneurs like you and our community to help shape the future of Black entrepreneurship across Canada. So look out for the chat and please fill out our surveys. Just help us all, you know, create a better place for Black entrepreneurship, Black entrepreneurs in Canada. So I would like to introduce our speakers today, our Nicole Perriman and Clement. I'll let you introduce yourself, Nicole.
Sounds good. Afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So my name is Nicole Perryman. I am a equity consultant, professor, but also, as you shared, I am CEO of some organizations. One is private practice that I have called Asset Group, where I provide psychotherapy and support. But I also have a nonprofit called Efarata and Kajunga, and those are social services agency within Durham region, providing support to families. In addition to myself, I'm a mother, a daughter, a sister, a cousin, an auntie, trying to be a leader and a change maker. So welcome and thank you so much for having me here.
It's very nice. It's very nice to have you here. Hope we gained some valuable insights. And Clement.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you're listening from. My name is Clement Esene. I'm an entrepreneur, co-founded an organization called Daniola Corporation. What Daniola does is connects buyers and sellers of commodities, minerals, metals, gemstones, and also creates efficiency within the mining supply chain. Also a co-founder of an organization called BIPOC Foundation and executive director of that organization. That organization has worked with entrepreneurs to help them start, grow, and scale their businesses. We do that through programs, networking events, and creating the network and connections that allow and providing resources that allows those entrepreneurs to be able to start, grow, and scale their businesses. We're industry agnostic, doesn't matter whether you're a tech business or you're not tech business, we work with you, create bespoke, relatable pathways to success. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. Glad to have you here. So we do have a few questions for you guys and a message for the attendees we have today. Feel free to raise your hand if you have any questions for speakers or enter them in the Q&A, and we will get to you when we have time to answer. We should have some time to answer everyone's questions by the end, but again, feel free to give us a heads up in the chat or in the Q&A. So I'll hand it over to my colleague here, Collins, and he has some questions for you guys.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Collins. I'm one of the program managers here for Dream Legacy Foundation. Welcome. I hope everyone is keeping warm. I know there's some people here that are not on the continent, are out of North America, so you probably don't experience the snow that we are experiencing here in the GTA. So we are a little bit jealous, but that's okay. We still love you all the same. So thank you all for joining us from near and far. Again, thank you to Nicole and Clement for that great introduction. Again, today's topic on examining entrepreneurship and the intersection on mental health in Canada. So I guess we can actually start with either Clement or Nicole into more so doing a deeper dive into, I guess, your experience I guess with Clement, your experience as being an entrepreneur and dealing with mental health. What are some of the challenges that you faced in both, I guess, the mining business and even the BIPOC organization that you're a part of, supporting other businesses as well?
All right. Well, thank you very much, Collins. As we may know, for those who are entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship is something that is becoming more of a buzzword these days. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. But I guess for those who are ahead, what they don't tell you is, as sexy as entrepreneurship sounds, it's a roller coaster world, right? It's a world where you experience intense high and low times, and there is an immense pressure for success, and it depends on where you are in your entrepreneurship journey. Some people are blessed to still be able to have 9 to 5s while they're, getting into entrepreneurship, and, kind of gives them a leverage. But if you're like some of us who quit our 9 to 5 to jump into entrepreneurship, you will know that the pressure for success becomes very, very high. And when you tie this together, it just stresses you out. It's entrepreneurship is a high stress, gig. It's a high stress environment. You're dealing with different kinds of people depending on the industry that you're in. You're dealing with people that you have to manage people's emotions. You have to manage people's conversations. You have to deal with people. And if you're dealing with customers, they tell you that customers are always right? And then you're dealing with a variation of, attitude, a variation of poise that these people bring to the table. So that up and down that you feel, it tends to, it tends to upset your mental balance. And if you're not careful, if you do not know what to do as an entrepreneur under those conditions, you can break easily, right? And then mental health, again, is not something that we talk much about, especially within our community. Entrepreneurs, almost seem to be seen as superhumans, right? Who pose as a Superman, right? Who's this big figure doing big things, being innovative, jumping off, the cliff, and taking that plunge, and then being vulnerable, becomes something that is difficult to do as an entrepreneur, and that creates negative impact on your mental health. And then the stigma around, having mental health issues and not being able to talk about it is also something else that weighs heavily on you as an entrepreneur. And, even in BIPOC Foundation, we meet different kinds of entrepreneurs on a daily basis. And just deep diving into having conversations with these people, you will see that entrepreneurship is a very lonely journey. And because of that, you tend to most people tend to want to do everything themselves, forgetting that, if you don't have the right support network behind you as you're walking this journey, it can really affect you negatively. I'll leave it there for now, and, maybe we can deep dive as we continue to go.
Thank you so much. I know that you've touched on a lot there, and you're absolutely right in terms of it being a lonely journey, and then the complex of trying to be a Superman or Superwoman to kind of conquer all these different tasks of entrepreneurship can definitely be challenging. Ms. Nicole, maybe if you can touch on, in terms of what we can do or what you see in terms of psychotherapy and how that intersects with entrepreneurship as well, how that all ties in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Clement said it so well. Like, he described my journey over the past 11 years, like, distinctly. So I appreciate you kind of starting off and sharing that. And I think even as a psychotherapist, I thought I was like well equipped to manage all of the ups and downs of this journey. But obviously it creates such a strain on who you are as an individual. Clement shared really, distinctly that you need a team. And so very early, I found a team of people that, I could speak to, that I can connect with, because it does get lonely, as he shared many times, as well as just having a really good plan around balance. So yes, as an entrepreneur, sometimes my hours and days are like 12-hour days. There's no weekends for me. I could tell you that I've been working since mid-January and haven't had a day off. But creating that balance is really important. And it's a different type of a balance, right? And I think that helps to support our mental health when we're able to create those balance, practice really good boundaries. Yes, I explained my days are long. I haven't had a day off, but I got a vacation coming up tomorrow for a week and a bit. And, I just learned to create ways of just creating balance within my life, learning to rest, the importance of rest, not overbooking my schedule, making sure that there's time throughout the day just to relax and take a nap if I need to. And those are the things that I couldn't do when I had full-time employment. So I hope that answers kind of your questions, but yeah.
No, it does. It does. I mean, and congratulations, I guess, on your vacation. Hopefully it will be somewhere warm again. Uh, yes, okay, great, great, great. Good to hear. Good to hear. I know, I mean, even on the topic of psychotherapy, I think there's also a stigma as well as kind of that happens where we technically don't want to seek help or we may not feel that it's necessary. So maybe if you could both talk to kind of the advantages and maybe even like the cultural nuances of actually seeking help to address your mental health. I know both as a service provider and as well as an entrepreneurship as an entrepreneur, maybe if you could talk to kind of the cultural influences that kind of hindered your ability to seek, prioritize your mental health? And then were you able to overcome or what information allowed you to actually overcome actually seeking out help to address your mental health or to support your mental health?
Well, I'll take on that one, try to take a stab at it a little bit there. As an entrepreneur, I would say what has really helped me, Nicole touched on, the team. What has really helped me is having a supportive, network around, supportive family, as the very primary unit, my very primary team. I have a supportive partner who understands, who understands what I do. I understand, what she does. I understand, the family dynamics there, the cousins that live around. There are people that we could share with, and when you're able to be, you need to have people that you can be vulnerable to, that, that can also, speak to you and share with you, and then you can both lighten each other's burden. I find that very, very helpful, and to try to create, that balance. And I just wanted to, thank Beck, for putting this panel together, because a huge part, of just navigating those mental health challenges in an entrepreneur is awareness. We've talked about the stigma, we've talked about the isolation, but we will never be able to cross that chasm. We'll never be able to cross that bridge if people are not aware that it's okay to talk about mental health. If people do not know that it's okay to seek help, just by having panel conversations like this and making it okay to discuss it, people will continue to think that it's a problem. Mental health is not a disease. And even if it was, there is solutions, there is opportunities, to make yourself better. And just knowing that, and being able to take away that, judgmentality around it is huge. And hey, even if people judge, it's your health. You need to be able to take control. Thinking about what other people may say about you is giving them too much power over your life as an individual. You want to be able to take that power, you want to be able to take that control by seeking help, seeking support, and being better for yourself and for the people around you.
That's amazing. Nicole, you have something to add?
Yeah, absolutely. I love what you shared, Clement, and around, taking back. And I come from a culture of people where therapy was not recognized at all. And my family, a lot of my family members are business owners, entrepreneurs themselves. And I remember telling my uncle that I'm going to open this practice. And he's just like, he was shocked. He's like, that's a business? You need to like develop more of a business plan or like a business idea. And I'm like, no, I got this. Right. So definitely in my own experiences in my own life, we were raised, keep your problems to yourself, don't talk to other people about stuff. And those cultural norms kind of was part of our upbringing. But I think what has helped me the most is I started my own my own therapy. So going to see a therapist, and I believe it was 2004, like very, very long ago, just to work out stuff that I was dealing with. And I've been consistently in therapy, different therapists over time, but in therapy for the last how many years, really around becoming that better version of myself and working through some of the stuff that we deal with as entrepreneurs. And what's been really amazing, or that I've loved to see, is that yes, there is this continued stigma around mental health and accessing supports. But I also see a lot of men, women, children, elders seeking support with psychotherapy. And that to me is like the gains, right? When people are prioritizing their mental health as they prioritize how they eat or how they sleep or how they exercise, that is our goal that we're looking for. And the same way as we try to prioritize these other places in our lives, our mental health is very important, because if we don't have the right perspective, if we don't have the right tools to manage emotions and experiences that we all go through, it does have a huge impact on how we survive, how we live, right? And mental health, taking care of our mental health can only enhance that, no matter what we do, whether it's being an entrepreneur or just working in the community or not working or just being a parent. Accessing that support is extremely helpful for us. Oh, and this one more thing I wanted to add. It's also different. It's not only psychotherapy, how we take care of our mental health. We can take care of our mental health through other means that fill our soul, that fill our being, and helps us to be, as Clement was saying, the best version of ourselves at all times.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I think you brought up a great point in terms of there's many ways we can address our mental health and our mental health well-being, right? So that's very, very important fact to consider. And also, Clement, I mean, you raised some great points as well too, in terms of the awareness as well. So on that note, as a reminder, again, for those who are attending, this is facilitated with our partners in BEC. And we encourage you to participate in helping to build our ecosystem mapping tool, as well as gathering insights for Black entrepreneurs by completing our surveys. So you'll see that in the chat. If you could please take a moment to actually complete that. This helps us to now build more and more programs for entrepreneurs, and build a system and a robust system and a community, even stronger community across Canada. So please, if you have a moment, please look in the chat and complete the survey and register for our ecosystem mapping tool. I did see there was a hand raised by Miss Sandra Brown, if I'm not mistaken. Did you have a question, Sandra? Or Stephen Brown, sorry, Stephen. Stephen, I've sent you a prompt to unmute if you want to unmute and ask your question. No? Okay. No? All right. So just a reminder to everyone, again, if you have any questions, feel free to put them into the chat, or you can raise your hand and we will unmute and give you an opportunity to ask your question to our panelists. So in terms of, I guess if we talk a little bit more about making the transition, Nicole, in terms of actually starting your own practice, how was that journey like? Where did that need or urgency come from to actually start your own practice?
Great question. I have to say initially, as I shared before, like I had a lot of people in my family who are already entrepreneurs, and I had some really amazing mentors along my journey. So I think through that, they planted seeds, even from the time I remember being little, and one of my like adopted aunties, talked about her own shelter that she developed. And so all these people like planted seeds. But honestly, I started off, I had one client, and I remember just being really stressed, like, I can't do this, I can't build my own practice. And just that worry came over me, and I was about to give it out. And so I'm just doing my work. I'm building my business. We're in year 2 and I'm barely making like 10,000 a year. It was like super low. And I had a job that I was doing full time. And I love Caravana. I love Carnival. I love all that stuff. So so I had taken time off to go to Trinidad for Carnival. And my boss at the time was like, you're not technically allowed to take vacation off. You don't have any more vacation days. And like, it can't happen again. At that point, I swear to you, I made a decision. I'm like, I can't work for other people. I can't. I need to go on vacation when I need to go on vacation. And that was it. Later that year, I think 9 months later, I left that job and went full time into managing my business. And through faith, through just learning to build relationships with people with other businesses, it grew. At this point, sometimes like advertising, I get really worried because I'm like, oh my God, the floodgates. But I think just, just taking a chance on myself, showing myself grace to this journey that we've been going through up and down, has really helped to sustain it. But yeah, yeah, it emerged into private practice and then eventually a nonprofit. I have a staff of like 20 people, like things that I've never considered in my life. And so I'm grateful that I was told one day I couldn't take vacation, and here I am.
Amazing. Here you are, and now you're actually you're still living out that vacation request. So that's great. That's great. That's good to know. So we have a comment here in the chat. I thought I was the only one that had issues with getting time off for Carnival. No, you are not alone. We all had these issues. So this is a safe space. If any of our bosses are here, we're sorry that it was very ironic that we all called in sick. But yes, we made it. We made it. Clement, what's the inspiration for you behind the BIPOC Foundation? I know it's based out primarily in Western Canada, but what was the inspiration behind facilitating and organizing this organization?
Well, thank you very much, Collins. I'll just short answer. BIPOC Foundation was born out of the inspiration of my own personal journey as an entrepreneur and the hurdles I had to face, trying to start and grow my business. And through that journey, trying to, navigate what to do, whom to talk to, how does a business landscape looked. It hurdle after hurdle, just you want some resources. There was no free flow of these resources, and then the thought came to, what can we do differently? How can I help? How can I make sure that the people that are coming after me do not have to face these hurdles that I faced, while trying to start and grow their business? And that was, where the thought of BIPOC Foundation started. Started as a simple meetup. We had it was between friends and friends of friends, just meeting up first on a once a month basis, sit, have conversations, and three simple questions. Tell us about yourself, tell us about your business, and then tell us about your challenges. And then after those questions, people who have had similar challenges and have been able to overcome those challenges will start sharing how they were able to overcome those challenges. So just to be able to, ensure that people know where resources are and those who have resources could share, that, grew into, a time where we're able to get some, federal investment, into the foundation. And now we've been able to scale significantly over the past couple of years. And our work now covers the entire Western Canada and beyond. And we've been able to see more than 1,600 entrepreneurs in this region, gain access, to either a training, a workshop, and then more than 170 entrepreneurs are now, assigned to one-on-one business advisors that they can call anytime whenever they face any sort of issues or any sort of challenges or any sort of hurdle. And we work with amazing partners, like Beck, like the Dream Legacy Foundation, like SETC. There is also partners here locally that we work with. There is the BBVA, there is the BBA, BCI, or BC. There was a Canadian Imperial Advantage. And these are all organizations that provide all different kinds of support for entrepreneurs because we do not have all the answers, right? So we work with this network of other organizations to ensure that Black entrepreneurs within our region are getting access to resources and getting answers to their questions and getting the right connection, the right network, the right training, and obviously getting them ready to become fund approvable. Because when you ask 90% of entrepreneurs what they need, they usually tell you funding. But there is sometimes, still some work to be done before we get to that funding. So walking that a journey and working with those entrepreneurs to ensure that when they do get to that point where they need funding, they will not have any impediments in their way to be able to get access to that funding is the work that we love doing and is the work that we do today. Thank you.
I just wanted to add to Clement too, because you brought up a really key point. In Canada, the fact that our businesses are not being funded or that we struggle to start our businesses is really rooted in that systemic racism, right? And I appreciate your capacity to be able to support business owners because that's what we need. When I started 10 years ago, there was no startup funds. Like I built my own website. I figured out how to do accounting, right? And so having that support is massive. So thank you so much for what you're doing and seeing that need and being able to build on that. So, sorry to interrupt, but
No,
I had to say that.
Not at all. It actually leads into my next question is would you say that's the biggest challenge for Black entrepreneurs, access to capital, or would you say there are other hurdles that need to be addressed in the immediate interim here? And then, of course, after we talk about the challenges, what are the solutions? What can we do even as a community to actually address some of these challenges that we're seeing in entrepreneurship right now?
Right. Over the past couple of years, we've seen significant, uptick in options, that Black entrepreneurs, across Canada can access, to be able to give them a leg up in the market, right? And up until a few years ago, none of these, networks, none of these opportunities abounded, right? So I'm grateful to be alive at a time like this. And I'm grateful to be able to be contributing, to that network as well. Obviously, access to network remains a very paramount issue. Access to funds remains a very paramount issue. And just considering that we have a lot of entrepreneurs that are immigrants, Black entrepreneurs that are immigrants in Canada that are coming from a cash-based society and coming over to a cashless society, and just being able to get access to information, right, on how to navigate the cashless system, not to fall into traps that that ruins their credibility to access cash early enough is, becomes very, very imperative. And it's some of the issues and challenges, that we're facing with some of the entrepreneurs that we're, having conversations with. When they first came, they did not understand that when you get issued a credit card, the money does not belong to you. You're just, it's meant to build that economic, capital. It's meant to build that framework, that trust process that allows the system to be able to give you loan funds, grant funds, and some other kind of funding, that allows you to build that. And there is really nobody, providing this information. And people come, use that money, never pay back. Now their credits are ruined. But the good thing is, once those credits are ruined, people think is the end of the world, but it's really not, right? And there is really nobody also passing on that information that it's okay if your credit is bad because it can be fixed. There is steps, there is pathways that you can take in a very short time to be able to, if you do the right things consistently, to be able to get back to that point where you now become trustworthy again, right? So just, I think what is even more important than access to funds is access to information. That information that they say, knowledge is power, and that's a very popular saying from where I come from. Just passing on that knowledge and empowering the community to know the power that is in their hands is number one. Now, obviously, we've talked with the four things that makes you successful as an entrepreneur is you need to have the knowledge, right? And then you need to have the network, you need to have the mentorship, and then the funds, right? We have a community where we need to do better at being mentors, to each other, at being open and allowing, people who are needing the knowledge that we have to be able to get a leg up in the community, to be able to be open to accepting those relationships so that we can become together economically empowered, to be able to grow out of that mindset that, you just want to be me, myself, and I, and then when you get up that ladder, you either burn down the ladder or take it away so that the next man cannot climb, so that you can be the beacon of light, for the community. Think about the fact that if there is one light bulb standing in a 1,000 square meter park, there is only so far that light can shine. But when there is 1,000 light bulbs, as a result of that one light bulb, spreading that power, the amount of light that is going to be in that darkness, and that darkness is going to be completely, that darkness is going to leave completely. And just understanding that there is so much more that we can do together, that we are more powerful together as a people than as individuals, becomes, very, so there's a lot that can be said, about this topic. There's a lot of personal work that we have to do as a community. Aside from the systemic racism, there is also a lot of internal work. This is a safe space. We have to share things like this. There is a lot of mindset work that we have to do as a people. We have to be open to learn. We have to be open to support. We have to be open to share network, share relationships, share resources, so that other people that are coming behind us can benefit from that. And then, we can have a more robust ecosystem, a more robust community that becomes self-sustainable and economically empowered. So I'll leave it there for now, and maybe we can dive deeper later. Thank you.
Yes, Nicole.
Thank you, Clement. I think I'll add, I guess, or build on what you shared in terms of the mindset. We come from a culture or an identity where we were taught that resources are limited, that we had to focus on ourselves. A lot of that's rooted in enslavement and colonialism in terms of how we are as a people. But I do live in I guess I live in a small region. And I think initially in our region, when anyone started up a Black business, there was always that mindset that we were in competition with each other, or we needed to focus on a limited resource that we were supposed to share. I don't know what the mindset was around, but I was determined not to continue that mindset, because I only believe that for us to be successful, my organization to be successful, is that we work together. There's no other way for us to do it successfully. And not all of us have the knowledge and the insight in terms of how we build a business, because we're not often mentored. We're not often put in spaces where we can learn. And so that's what we did differently. I have a joint grant that I developed with another smaller organization just like us. We got huge funding. I think it was over 1.6 million from the federal government, and we share the work. We share the investments and the support for our community. And that's how we create our reach, right? So very much similar to what Clement said, yes, funding is non-existent sometimes, and depending on which political government's in power, we can access certain times, we can't. That's always going to be an issue, but I think our capacity to work together, to be open for knowledge, to mentor and build each other up, to reinforce that we're not the only ones, and we don't need to eat out of the small pie, that there's a sky's the limit when it comes to us being able to build successful businesses. And, transforming how we think about community and how we think about developing entrepreneurship will definitely help us to build and grow our careers. And if anyone is thinking about starting a career, find a mentor, join as many classes as you need to join, and build your support team, because they will continue to support you throughout your journey as an entrepreneur.
Right, Nicole, you're already answering my questions before I even asked them. So thank you for that. Thank you. My next question was actually going to be, what advice would you have for someone wanting to actually get into mental health practice as a service provider? So you mentioned getting a mentor, having a support team. Is there anything else that you specifically want to provide advice to somebody who says, you know what, I want to follow in Nicole's path. I want to be a service provider. I want to teach or provide resources. What other advice, or is there any other advice that you'd give to them?
Yeah, I would definitely say, in addition to those ones, do your own therapy work, because when you're working with other people, especially when you're working with people whose identity is very much mirrored to you, Black or African descent people, stuff happens, right? You're triggered. So I think getting into your own psychotherapy, ensuring that you have supervision is really important to make sure that you have a sound practice. Don't take on too much. Don't take on what you can handle. Be okay with saying no, setting boundaries, and take your pace, right? Because there was this movie from years ago. I don't even remember the name of it, but Kevin Costner was in it. And I remember distinctly, if you build it, they will come. And that's always been like my driving force forever. So share your ideas, and focus on building your ideas, but don't push too much. Take your time. It will come the way that it's supposed to. And with the mentorship support, your own therapy, your own ability to create a balance in your life with supervision, you'll be able to create that practice that you dream of, right? And support your community the way in which will bring the success that you're looking for.
Amazing, amazing. That's great advice. I mean, we did have on a previous session, we did have Dr. Joan Samuels, and she mentioned that there is actually a shortage. So as much as we, as Clement mentioned, we want to bring awareness, we want to spread the information, we need more people within our community to actually jump into the community to actually provide these social services to our entrepreneurs and others alike, right?
Absolutely. I'm actually the only play therapist in my area. So play therapy and child therapy is really, really important. So I encourage anyone to consider getting into it. It's extremely helpful, and I can't be the only one. So yes. Oh, thanks, Sandra. Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams, Field of Dreams. It looks like we have a Kevin Costner fan in the house. So that's great. That's great. Amazing. So Clement, switching gears, are you aware of any innovation in terms of or initiatives that you've undertaken or that you've witnessed that have helped entrepreneurs address mental health challenges?
Right. I do belong, just to answer your question directly, I belong to, or I'm a board member of an organization called Immigrant Men's Network of Canada, and actually Immigrant Men and Family Network of Canada. And the idea around that organization was creating a safe space where people, men can share freely and discuss issues, especially around mental health, because obviously we come from a community, again, much like the entrepreneur, we tend to want to be superhumans, and we don't want to share. We want to build our burden alone, and then people have so much pent up, stress, until we've seen a few people, unfortunately, may their soul rest in peace, just pass on, just like that. Sleep never woke up. A few months ago, someone at a workplace just slumped and passed. And the irony is they were a nurse, and they slumped right in the hospital, right? So, but there was nothing that could still be done. It was too late by the time their colleagues, came around, and we started hearing stories around, oh, they work so hard, they work so much, they pick up every shift, they were the go-to person for anybody that couldn't work. So money is important, right? But what is more important is life, your health, and just Nicole talked about balance, earlier, just being able to strike that balance and know, what to prioritize when becomes very, very key, and realize that sometimes, as much as you're doing this for yourself, you're also doing this for your loved ones. People love and prioritizing your health, just it's also a way of expressing love to the people who love you, right? And so there is a lot of organizations, there is mental health, communities, mental health, support and networks, aside from even the professional psychotherapies, or out there, and other professionals that work in the mental health field. Like I said, we have convenings where we do a circle and we all share. We all share, and people share their thoughts on how they have navigated. We share everything. We even share, family challenges, because sometimes it may not be work, it may be stress you're going through, and sometimes it may just be something as little as you just want a different perspective, and that strikes the chord, and changes your life forever. So that's finding that circle where you can be vulnerable, where you can share, and where someone trusted can just say something meaningful to you at that time, can really change your life, immensely. Obviously, more recommended, to use professional help, but using those support circles and family circles also work, and it's worked for me, and I'm a lover of music, and sometimes when I wanted to distress, I just play soft tunes, just to relax, and finding that time to not do anything, not pay attention to your phone, just to relax and just listen to yourself. You find that it helps a lot, and it even opens up those creative juices sometimes that you need to be able to solve some key challenges that could have been before you for weeks that you've not been able to solve. So these are some of the personal strategies that I've used, to navigate, and also supported this kind of organizations where people from diverse backgrounds bring diverse perspective, and we're just able to hear from another standpoint, and that goes a long way to helping us navigate the stories around mental health.
Nice. Nicole, did you have any other resources that you can share with those in the audience in terms of dealing with mental health and the intersection of entrepreneurship, or just mental health resources in general?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've talked a lot about some really key pieces. I think everyone has their own kind of set things in their life that fills their soul. I say that a lot, like filling our soul and our hearts. And so create a list of what those are for you, whether they're things that you need in the moment, like crisis support, and to things that you just need just to keep you fulfilled. What we haven't really mentioned a lot is like spirituality. So our being able to connect with our higher power or God, that connection is really important for us. It fills our soul. Making sure that you're also connected with the land. We started off, talking about the sacred lands that we're inhabited on in Ontario, in Canada. And so being able to stay connected in that way is really helpful. We also shared things such as growing our knowledge and learning. All of those things help to define who we are and help us to grow as individuals and people, in addition to what we've shared before around psychotherapy, counseling, methods, connecting with people, having a tribe. I'm going to leave one more because I live with an 18-month-old. And listen, this child like fills my soul completely. First of all, he calls me mommy. He's always giving me hugs and kisses and like making me laugh. And as simple as that, babies and children do also fill our soul as well. Doing the things that help to keep us grounded through this world. And I think to leave what Clement said really powerfully is that it's not good enough just to have a life where we're trying to survive or we're just working to pay bills. It's also important for us to thrive, to be in places where we feel joy and feel love and connected. And money isn't everything. Money comes and goes. So if I encourage anyone starting this journey, find places where you can thrive and do the work that makes you feel good. And again, as filling your soul. Thank you.
That's amazing. That sounded like the final advice for entrepreneurs. So that's great. I'll give Clement an opportunity to give any parting words to entrepreneurs that are going through similar journey as you, or maybe starting their own journey. Any parting words that you'd like to give to them as we wrap up. And then finally, if anybody else has any questions, here's your final opportunity to give our esteemed panelists any questions or any comments that they'd like to make. But Clement, the floor is yours if you'd like to give any parting words or advice to entrepreneurs in terms of their journey and in terms of how they deal with mental health and they care for their mental health as they go along this entrepreneurship journey.
Right. Connect, connect. Life is simple, right? We complicate life sometimes, and if we're just able to calm down and just release ourselves of, anger sometimes, like there is so many things that throw us off. There is so many people that would annoy you as an individual. And this is just bringing it all the way down. Something as easy as staying angry at somebody, can really, really, just trump up your stress. And that is giving that person power over you again, right? So just being able to, on a daily basis, release yourself of those burden, release yourself of those stress, and setting boundaries. Setting boundaries that does not allow people control your emotion, people control your mental health becomes very, very important. And just being able to, forgive yourself. We sometimes we are too hard on ourselves, right? We do stuff like understand that we're human beings and mistake is part of life. No matter what you do, even if you made a mistake that cost you some money, be quick to learn from it, but also forgive yourself. Holding on to those little things will just keep plugging, that hole and just growing your mental stress on a daily basis, and it can easily get to a point where it can become a point of no return. And just thinking about these things and ensuring that you allow yourself to breathe, allow yourself to forgive, allow yourself. What I do is I don't go to bed angry. And at the end of the day, I lay all that down so that I can restart the next morning. I think that is something that maybe could reach out to somebody today. And if you start practicing that, you may just get better quality of life.
Amazing, amazing. Having the reset or resetting our minds and making sure that we're remaining fresh and we're taking care of ourselves. So amazing advice. So ladies and gentlemen, we want to, as we draw a conclusion of this workshop, I'd like to extend my deepest gratitude to each and every one of you for being here today. Your presence and active engagement have made this workshop a success. We'd like to special thanks to our organizers, Dream Legacy Foundation, for creating this Black History Month Dream series. We'd also like to thank the BEC in partnership with Dream Legacy for creating this national platform to support Black entrepreneurs. I'd like to thank our founder, the Innovation of Science and Economic Development, for supporting this amazing programming. And finally, we'd like to thank SETSI for being a great community partner and supporting the work of Black entrepreneurship. And last and not the least, we also want to thank our esteemed guests, Nicole and Clement, for sharing your wisdom and experiences today with us. I'm sure everybody can agree there's some valuable content and information that they received today. So it was a real source of information and inspiration for our budding entrepreneurs. So thank you once again for that. A reminder to please, again, as Clement mentioned, to really support and continue support and spread the word on programs like these so that we can facilitate them and be a resource to the community. So please, if you haven't already, take part in our survey as well as register for our ecosystem mapping tools. Both of these are designed to support our community, and we want to be able to continue to provide conversations and resources like this. And also a reminder that we have many more series, leadership series and Black History Month programs available. So please visit dreamlegacy.org. You can also visit us on Instagram as well too, at our link tree to find out about more events that we are hosting. Nicole has also put our contact information into the chat. You can visit her or follow her on Instagram at Nicole Perriman. And Clement as well, if you want to put your information in the chat as well, if you can share that. We'll leave the room open for another minute or so. We have some comments here from Juliet. Thanks to all the panelists for sharing great insights, stories, and resources. So thank you very much. And thank the organizers and the moderator for a wonderful session. Thank you so much, Juliet, and everyone else. We hope to see you on future sessions. Clement has also shared his Instagram as well. So in the essence of time, like I say, no Ghana time today. We're going to start on time. We're going to end on time. Once again, we thank everyone for their participation, and we look forward to seeing you on the next session. Thank you so much, and take care, everyone.